All right, we're live. Greetings to the body of the people. This is a man called Chris Dorsey, and you are tuned into the Militia Intelligence Report. Thanks for joining us. We've got a lot to cover tonight. I have, or we have, I should say, a special guest tonight, uh, Jessica Collins. She's given her testimony before on this program a few times, and we're going to have her back tonight because you will absolutely not believe, well, if you're listening to this broadcast, you may believe what the government is doing to those who are attempting to expose their crime. And in particular, I'm discussing Jessica Collins. So Jessica should be with us here fairly soon. Let me see what we got. Up, daggone. Let's see. More nonsense with the. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn my computer back on and turn it back off again because they're saying no server. I don't know how or why that is, but in any event, that's what's going on right now. So we are going to be patient and get things going for the show. So hey, click like, please click share. I'm hoping Clifford is going to be on the show. He is in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and we're going to hopefully talk with him when we get things going. My apologies. This is all we're always dealing with technical problems, and it's just the way it goes. So once we get into the program, we're going to get into and discuss the coronavirus hoax, had the massive shifts in the stock market, which is nothing but short covering. All this uptick in the stock market, it can be described by two words: short covering. That's what's going on. It's going to go back down. It's going to go back down about 20%. So altogether, my my guess, my educated guess as a an economist is that the stock market, the S&P, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq are going to go down about another 20%. So not 20 points. It's going to go down another 20%. So what you saw with this 20% increase in basically a week, that's a it's a product, it's a function of the system. It's a function of the rigged system called short covering. So that's what's been going on with this okay. Hey, I see Cliff's on the line right now. The reason why we're not getting his sound is because for some reason they knocked me offline on my computer, and that's where I am on in the Blog Talk Radio studio. It's not anything that really, unless except for the fact, I should say, except for the fact that the computer is always freezing up during our broadcast and we're always constantly getting knocked offline. It's really neither here nor there to you, the listener. But it does explain why we don't have everything up to speed all at once. But we know who's doing this. We know who's behind this. We know 8200 um, targets us directly because you know we wish to take them out and take them down. Those are the problem starters, and we're the problem solvers. And the solving of the problem that emanates, or it shows itself to us, is this is all Mossad operations. So everything with this uh, coronavirus, Mossad operation, as we've verified and documented with every sort of issue that goes on in the world. All the intelligence agencies of the world, yeah, they're subject to the Bank for International Settlements. Sure, they're subject to the World Bank and the UN, but the entity that is micro directing and macro directing the all of the police state and treasonous tactics of of this government and all the world government is it's Mossad. So that's what you have. So I'll show you just what's going on with the computer for Jessica and Clifford, who are waiting. Um, yeah, I'll just show you if you can see this. Hoping you'll see this. It's just the spinning circle of death that we're waiting for to stop so I can get back into the studio after getting knocked off the studio already, less than 10 minutes into the show. Um, and yeah, that's right. So we're still waiting to be able to unmute Jessica and Clifford in the Blog Talk Radio studio, which, as you can see, is frozen up. It's frozen. So we're gonna try a couple things like the Control Alt Delete, so we can get back into it. And it's not letting us do this. We may have to turn on the computer and off the computer again. And unfortunately, that's where I get into the Blog Talk studio. I don't wish to get off of this Facebook, because then that will knock me off and we'll have to get back on Facebook again. This is frustrating to a level that is difficult to describe. This is, but we shall persevere, and we shall conquer. We shall succeed and then conquer. Just turn that back on and off again. So in the meantime, when we're waiting, while we're waiting for the studio to become available, I'll just tell you a little bit about what's going to go on tonight. We're going to describe what's going on with the coronavirus. I don't want to say hoax, because it's too broad of a statement to just dismiss it as a hoax. There are hoax elements of it, but there is really a coronavirus. It's been around for many years. They've been calling different animal to human viruses the coronavirus since the 70s, and maybe even before then. We know that there is a United States patent for this illness and for its vaccine. So we know that that's where the motive is on the Pure Bright Institute. The Pure Bright Institute patent on the coronavirus. The motive is monetary. The motive is patent for vaccine. The motive is forced vaccine. The motive is global police state. Now, we've seen this around the world, that they have told people that you've lost all your freedom, and the people of the world have responded by complying with, for the most part, complying with this global lockdown, which destroys for those who abide by it, every bit of the freedom of assembly that we have naturally as human beings. Yeah, man is supreme on planet Earth. Humans, male and female, man is supreme on planet Earth. We are created in God's image, and turn me into a liberal for $1,200. Yeah, and it's a good one. but yeah, that $1,200 is everybody buying into global communism right now. This global Ashkenazi directed communism, and that's what we have right now. And we're gonna touch on the case, not touch on. We're gonna delve deeply into the Jessica Collins case, and it's unbelievable. I can tell you right off the bat, and we'll get into the details, because when I make these statements about what's really going on in the world, folks go, nah, Chris, it can't be that. I know it's bad, but it can't be that bad. But in the case of Jessica Collins, and the fact that she is a whistleblower and she's been targeted for such, for her activity as a whistleblower. Um, what's going on with that case is everything that she has been accused of and falsely charged with. All of the evidence is showing, and we have this evidence. All of the evidence is showing she is the victim and the government is the perpetrator. So that's what's going on there. And we'll get to Jessica just as soon as possible. I bet she and Clifford are on the line, but I can't see that because I am unable to go into the Blog Talk Radio studio. Here we go. Wow. Don't get your hopes up. That was just the first part of being able to try to access my computer. The actions of the computer. Okay, so now we are hopefully going to be able to click on the internet, because we're not even there yet. I've been knocked off, and they're telling me there's no server twice so far during this broadcast, and we're getting back in. They really don't. They're really doing their best to prevent us from getting this information out to you. They are absolutely doing their best. And why not? Because, as I always say, you waste your time listening to anyone else. I don't trust their analysis because, hey, I mean, folks can listen to me. They can look back at what I've been doing on international television and on individual broadcasts and videos and radio shows. And I can tell you, I'm a good judge of this. I say I'm the best judge of this. And I listen to other folks when they're experts in a certain field. But as far as putting together what's going on with this global criminal world government police state, this is the place to get the information. There's no other place to get this kind of firsthand information. And I can tell you, if folks that remember Jessica on the last broadcast, we were like, hey, this is what happened. This is what happened in this instance. This drug dealer working for the police and with the police drugged Jessica Collins. And this guy is running an operation right outside the local Food Lion. And that when they say Jessica Collins was assaulted, if they were to tell the truth, if they say Jessica Collins assaulted individuals, the actual fact is she was assaulted. When they say that that they have proof of a crime, that really means that they have no proof of a crime. But this just fits in with everything else in society. Everything else in society is going this way. It's been going this way. We've been telling you, and now we're going to get into extreme details of particular cases. Yeah, there's standing. I can tell you what's going on here in Richmond, Virginia. The police now have a special number, So if you see individuals congregating, more than 5 individuals congregating, give this special police number a call. It's going to be their first priority above anything else. The worst crime that you can commit as far as the criminal, treasonous, police department and government in the United States right now is congregating in groups of 5 or more. That's what they say is going to give first priority. And they're telling everybody, hey, watch your neighbors. Narc on your neighbors if they're, having a family gathering. Narc on them. Here's a special number. We'll get right over. I'm going to block you, Barry White. I'm going to delete the comment. We don't need my imitators. We don't need my imitators, those who copy all my work, and he knows it. That copies all my work. Don't need it. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You can say okie dokie all you want, but I can tell you, I'm not having like my copiers, a poor man's version of my analysis being promoted on my show. Cool. Criminal, narc, fed. That's Barry White. He's a fed. All right. That's Barry Allen White, born in Detroit, Michigan. Fed. So flake off. And yeah, you should watch it with me, buddy. So there you go. There you go. Barry Allen White, fed, promoting other feds that copy my work on my channel. So no thanks. No thanks. Feds, narcs, snitches, biker gang members. Yeah. No thanks. We all know that that all these quote unquote biker gangs are really run by the police. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, a lot of folks watching, they're very interested in this stuff, in this subject matter we're going to discuss tonight. And I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. And if we can't figure that out, I may have to start this broadcast again on Facebook. I'm hoping that that's not going to be the case. But we are having massive technical issues with the Blog Talk Radio studio. So many apologies for that. Many apologies to Clifford and our guest, Jessica Lee Collins, that are waiting on the line. We'll get that going as soon as we can, even if we have to run the studio from my phone and have to start the whole broadcast over. I'll give you warning before we do that. And I'm going to try another thing. I'm going to grab another device that is... No, I can't grab that device. It's not working properly. Just thinking about things to do to get this broadcast going. All right, I am going to have to grab another device. Hopefully we can... All right, well, we are... There's Max. All right. This is quite... Now everything's going wrong with this thing. Rotate the camera. Rotate the camera. Rotate it. All right, well... This is hard to believe, folks. This is really hard to believe. All right, well, we are gonna I'm just gonna do this for now because it seems like all my devices are being... I don't even want to say anything that's going to make me sound paranoid, but I can show you what's going on the computer. Oh my God, you gosh. All right. Okay, we got that back now. So apologies. I'm just gonna try to get this going again here. If not, I'm gonna have to take old devices that I have to have plugged in to even have working. And we're gonna get to this testimony here in just a second. So all right, so we're gonna get to the stock market right now, and then we're gonna hopefully get the studio up and running. So what's going on now, folks? And I apologize, just explaining to you what's going on. We're being locked out of the Blog Talk Radio studio. That's how we have the guests on for the show. And of course, what we planned on doing tonight was having our special guest on again tonight. We've been working on this Jessica Collins case. We've been covering it for, well, a while now, almost an entire year. And so we are going to give the smoking guns about the government framing of Jessica Collins. And we're going to show beyond a shadow of a doubt that the government, in particular Accomack County in this case, Accomack County, Virginia, is charging individuals, charging an individual, Jessica Collins, and in doing so, we have found extreme criminal activity on the part of the Virginia State Police, the Accomack County Sheriff's Department, the Accomack County Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and the clerk of the court for Accomack County, and particular judges, and maybe less so the judges than the other, because the judge does not seem to wish to attach his name to much of the illegal activity, although he seems to be attaching it to some. So again, we're going to try to get on the computer to and so there it is. That's me just trying to get on the computer. This is as far as we've gotten, and I can tell you, I don't know why. We have technical difficulties a lot, but it really seems that it hits when we're about to tell the most important things. And when I tell you about Jessica Collins' case, she is exposing individuals that are like Joe Biden, that he's involved in this, Epstein, DC Madam trafficking operation. Stephen Miller, in the White House advisor right now. John McCain, Jeffrey Epstein, Andrew Windsor. The list goes on and on and on and on. And so they want her quiet. They don't want to hear her talking. They don't wish to allow a whistleblower to go out there and expose these crimes. And it's not a partisan crime. And I can tell you, she gets a lot of, and I've seen a lot of, this partisan stuff, acting as if the Trump administration's not in on it. Now, we know Trump is accused of raping multiple teen and actually preteen sex slaves along with Jeffrey Epstein. And we know that he molests his daughter in front of a camera and then likes to continue to do that in his adult life and talk about it all the time. So again, I don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but this is just to show you what kind of complete degenerate scumbags there are pervasively through government. And if you work for the government and you're not doing this, you're just covering for these individuals. So you're involved with it. You're definitely involved with it if you work for the government. And we know it's everybody in the government. Every single person, no exceptions. None. None. Not one single exception to the rule in this operation. And that's what we have. That these government officials, these high-ranking government officials, really all they do is they engage in war against the people, and in particular, they like to get involved with gun trafficking, drug trafficking, human trafficking, raping children, raping adults. That's what they do. They don't do anything else. That's all they do. Nothing else. Not one other thing. Absolutely not one other thing. So that's what we're going to discuss, and we're going to get into that, and then we're going to say, like, oh, okay, well that's fine. Do they ever let these, victims go? Do they just go like, oh, okay, we're done with you. We'll let you live in peace? No, they absolutely do not. They go and they terrorize them, and that's what I'm going to get into when we finally get to discuss this operation with Jessica Collins, is that they are terrorizing her. And as someone who has been terrorized by the government, I mean, it's something that I can pick out and show where they're doing it. I'm experienced at being terrorized by the government, and the reason I'm terrorized by the government, there's many reasons, but one of the main reasons is, hey, they'll let you speak out against them as long as you don't say anything relevant, as long as you don't get to the core of the issue, the fact that the government is entirely 100% criminal and fraudulent, and there are no exceptions, not one single exception. And I would love to hear it. If anyone disagrees in any sort of way, hey, love to hear it. Love to hear it, because you're wrong. It's obvious. It's self-evident. There is absolutely no denying that. Okay. All right. So, okay. So we're going to try this. Hopefully. Come on now. There you go. Come on, please. Please, please. All right. So I've got an old device that I had to search for the thing to plug it in to even get it operational, because I'm locked out of my computer for some reason tonight. It's just locked up. That's it. All right. And you know what's going on in the background? I can hear Joe Biden speaking. So as we speak of the devil appears on camera in the background. So now we just got to get to the studio, and I'm not taking callers tonight. I'm not going to take any callers other than Clifford and Jessica, just because I don't wish to have anything screwed up. If I'm fortunate, God willing, to get into the studio and to unmute Jessica and Clifford. It's still loading up for some reason. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay. Jessica's unmuted. Clifford should be unmuted. Hey Jessica. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry about what's going on with this technical difficulty, but I know that you you have much experience with this. Um so I'm glad finally we got you on the line. Let's do a quick sound check. And if folks on Facebook can tell me whether Jessica's coming through loud and clear or not, can you just do like a test one, two, three?
Hi, everybody. I'll try to speak up.
Okay, yeah, because I know
Notice my
people.
voice is a little bit quiet.
Yeah. You're quiet. I'm loud, but anyway, yeah. Just concentrate on being as loud as you can, Jess, and we're gonna get right into it. Um,
I'll try.
all right, all right. You're sounding good. Okay, if Cliff, there she is. Okay, so we got that. Cliff says, as much as I despise the satanic mob, I'm so frustrated with the populace not running with this and saying to themselves, this recklessness of the populace is horrid. No, absolutely no doubt. They've been trained this way. They're mind controlled this way, and that's just the way it goes. And so it makes it dangerous, more dangerous. Yeah, the fecklessness is what. Yeah. Okay, so that's better. Cliff meant to say the fecklessness of the population is horrid. It is. They are feckless is the absolutely right word. Cliff says you're coming through loud and clear, Jess. So hey, great. Thanks, Ron Elston. Yeah, great to hear from you. Thanks. All right, Jess. So I discussed, and I think you were probably listening, uh, the fact that basically, not basically, exactly what these criminals in Accomack County have done to you is accuse you of everything that we now have video verification from a number of different sources that you are actually a victim of. So they accuse you of doing what other other persons have done to you. Do you think that's an accurate way to, before we get into all the details, do you think that that's like a good, opening statement about what's going on?
It's exactly what's happened. It's exactly what's happening right now. They're trying to get me thrown in prison, and I've gotten that exculpatory evidence, and it shows nothing that they were saying is true at all. They're going to try and claim it is, but it's not, and I don't know how to defend myself when there's only one judge to make that determination.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. And we'll get into the details, but the first thing that happened since the last time you and I spoke that was significant, but we put this out as the most likely scenario that when they were saying that you assaulted these individuals that seem to be involved, well, that are I've I've seen enough to know they're involved in a drug operation that is operating right in the front of the store, right before, sitting right at the entrance of the Food Lion in Accomack County. There's a drug operation going on. And one of the main things that came out since then, we said, oh, this is what's going on, is that there is video proof of that. There is video proof of this, and it includes two of the individuals involved. Now, it seems this one individual called Coy likely, and this is what the police, according to uh, other video evidence that we said, they kept saying like, you're on drugs, and you're like, no, I'm not on drugs. I haven't taken any drugs. You're on drugs. And so it seems likely, as we said before, that this drug dealer who openly deals drugs in front of the Accomack County Food Lion drugged you, and that
That's,
that
yeah.
and that we have video evidence of this guy dealing drugs in front of the Food Lion, just as we stated in the last two broadcasts that we did together. And now there's a video of this drug deal that is, I mean, it's out there for everyone to see. I was hanging out with my neighbors, and like, I like them. They're nice. They're nice folks. They're good. They're good friends. And they're like, really? This is going on? And I'm like, yeah, I'll show you. There's a video of this guy dealing drugs in front of the Food Line. They're like, no, that can't be. I'm like, yeah, it's up on Twitter. It's got like, between like, 1 and 2,000 people have watched this guy that, nobody really knew before this. Yeah, he's dealing drugs in front of the Food Line. And that he, in fact, seemed to have drugged you. Uh, then, then we had another video that Jessica made where she's talking to a sheriff's deputy in Accomack County called Megan Traxler. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the investigator
Okay,
that was
so
sent to investigate Coy Bailey.
okay, so that's the investigator that was sent to investigate Coy Bailey, and she states
And
clearly.
my
Go ahead, Jess. I don't want to talk over you. Your
oh,
testimony is the important part. Go ahead.
well, there is definitely a delay. I've noticed in watching the videos, the times I've called in, there's definitely a delay. So that is why there's an overlap in our um, speaking.
Okay.
I'm not hearing when you stop. I'm inserting my voice over yours, but it's not because I'm interrupting. It's because there is that delay.
Jess, it's all
But
good.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all good. You got the floor. Whenever you wish to take the floor, you got the floor. We operate under Robert's rules, and at this point, I'll be the facilitator, but you can be you're the head of the meeting. So when you wish to speak, just as any individual, using parliamentary procedure, you get, that's in charge of the meeting, you get to speak. So don't worry about interrupting me. That's fine. Because as soon as you interrupt me and I hear it, I will stop talking and you have the floor. So, yeah, go ahead with your thought, Jess.
Um, well, yeah, I was claiming from the beginning that I felt like I was drugged. As soon as whatever was in my system wore off, I told them I felt like I was drugged, and the officers who arrested me told me that they would test my blood for those type of drugs. And all of this time, it's been 2 months, I've been strung along by Megan Trexler and told that my blood was going to be tested for drugs. I got uh, the analyzation of the blood back in the mail, and there was no drug testing on it. Um, and so what they did is they had taken 2 vials of my blood that evening, and what the district attorney Spencer Morgan and Megan Trexler, the Accomack County investigator, did was took that second vial from wherever it was being held in state custody and sent it to their own forensic laboratory.
Jess, let me stop you right there. Hold on. Jess, let me stop you right there. Hey, for everybody and Cliff, if you could put a link into the Blog Talk Radio, if you're saying that the volume is not loud, go listen to the show on Blog Talk Radio, and you can watch me if you wish, or you don't have to watch me. But if you're having a difficult time hearing Jessica, Jessica will speak up as loud as she can, and also you can go on Blog Talk Radio. You can go on Blog Talk Radio, and it's a direct line. So we're broadcasting on Facebook, but our audio, or Jessica and Clifford's audio, is the audio from Blog Talk Radio. So you don't need to tell me that the audio's poor and turn the volume up. just go directly to Blog Talk Radio, the Militia Intelligence Report on Blog Talk Radio. So let me repeat this again, the Militia Intelligence Report on Blog Talk Radio. And Ron says he can hear. So okay. But if you can't, I mean, I know for me, my hearing's not that great. So maybe some people whose hearing is good, they can hear you fine, Jess. And maybe for others, I will remind them again, because I don't want to get distracted with this. You can get the audio on Blog Talk Radio, and Cliff sent us a direct link. So apologies again for interrupting, but that's just how it goes, because they're doing everything that they can to make this as difficult on us as possible. So we're just going to stick to, we're just going to stick to listening to what Jessica's saying right now. And I apologize again. The floor is yours, Jess.
Right. I'm speaking as loud as I possibly can. I noticed
it's
that
fine.
My volume is lowered compared to yours, but this is as loud as I can talk without, like, yelling. So they took the second vial of blood and sent it to the same laboratory that was supposed to test the first vial of blood. They already had the first vial of blood that they could have retested. Since they didn't test it.
Okay, let's stop there, Jess. Okay, let's hold up, Jess. Let's stop there. Okay, is it completely and utterly unusual and unheard of to have two different vials for testing?
I wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, I've heard that it's very unusual. I've heard that I've heard that it is not procedure. It is not proper procedure, and it is grounds for an explanation as to that it's not what's normally done, and that they're doing this, and they are. Go ahead.
I'm in prison, so that's why I'm really concerned, because this court date is coming up on April 20th, and since I've invoked my right to a speedy trial, they're punishing me for that. And once I stand in front of the judge with an empty courtroom and no witnesses, because nobody else is having trial except me, I can very easily be carted off to jail, and from there transferred to prison, because they're saying that I assaulted officers. There's no evidence of that in any of the video. That's why it's, like, crucial to get this information out now so people understand what's going on if I do get locked up.
Okay.
Committing a crime.
Okay.
Because I will become a political prisoner at that point.
Absolutely. And you were drugged and were a political prisoner. And I've got right now queued up the Twitter feed from Traxler, from Megan Traxler, and I'm going to turn the camera and turn the volume all the way up. And if you can't hear it properly, you can go to Jessica Lee Collins on Twitter, and you can see it there. But again, what I believe is that we are going to see this video. There you see, right there, I'm pointing at Megan Traxler's badge. And what she's going to say is, and you'll listen to her exact words, that instead of Jessica assaulting individuals, it's actually Jessica Collins that was assaulted. And she states that the individuals who assaulted her and are friends with this guy, Coy Bailey, who is a local drug dealer openly dealing drugs. And we'll show you a video of him dealing drugs out in front of the Food Lion. But in any event, we'll start with this one because I think that this is the most key video, where this woman, Megan Traxler, who's a sheriff's deputy with Accomack County, knows she's being filmed and contradicts the charges against Jessica Collins, and I'll repeat myself once again, because I like to repeat myself over and over again when something is important. Jessica is the victim of the assault. She is not the perpetrator of the assault. And here, we'll listen. We'll stop right there. I know the people who assaulted you at Food Lion are friends with him, talking about Coy Bailey. And then she's going to go on to say, like, yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Oh, I was just going to tell you, I got this exculpatory evidence yesterday, and in the video, I'm being told that I assaulted people, and I'm being told that I was driving.
Right.
And being led to go along with that fiction. But when I'm being told each of these things, I'm confused, and when they said I assaulted people, I was like, no, I don't think so. And they're like, do you remember that? I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about,
Right. And that's because, according to Megan Traxler, who presumably has evidence, i.e. video surveillance or other evidence, that in fact you were assaulted by his friends. Coy Bailey, the individual that seemingly drugged you. And when we said we said with good confidence that you were drugged, and then during this whole incident, and we may get to the sound for this if we can do it properly, that that these individuals keep repeating over and over again, you're on drugs. What drugs are you on? So these police officers and state troopers, these deputies and troopers, they're trained to recognize somebody, a difference between somebody who's just drunk and somebody who is on drugs, or in this case, has been drugged. So Megan Traxler is saying on camera, these individuals assaulted you. They're friends with the individual that is dealing drugs out in front of the Food Lion blatantly for everyone to see, especially the police that they have left alone. They have left this guy alone, allowed him to get filmed dealing drugs. You got a nice still shot on your Twitter feed. I'll show that, and then I'll show him dealing drugs. 2,000 people have watched that video.
The person who has accused me of assault.
Right, and those individuals who accuse you of assault actually, according to Megan Traxler, assaulted you. So at that point, all the charges for assault must be dropped, and there must be a new investigation, because an assault is a violent crime, and they cannot prove that you were driving drunk in any sort of way. They kept saying you were, but they had no proof, and you did not admit to it, even though they stated that they arrested you and took you into custody because you admitted it. But everything in the evidence that they're going to use against you, that they must send to you under the Brady Doctrine or the Brady Statute, discovery, contradicts that. They say, you were driving. I wasn't, what? You were driving. You drove into this ditch. I didn't drive into the ditch. You hit something. What else did you hit? I didn't hit anything. What are you talking about? You assaulted these people. I didn't assault any people. What are you talking about? So they're saying you admitted to all this, but that's a lie. That's a verified lie, correct?
Well, they coaxed me into saying, like, out of aggravation and frustration in a sarcastic way. I mean, I'll play it for you, but they said, you drove into the ditch, why did you drive into the ditch? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What crash are you talking about? And you can tell by listening to the audio that I have no clue what they're talking about.
Right.
And then he's like, you drove into the ditch. What else did you hit? And I'm just like, oh, okay, I hit a raccoon and a deer on the way in.
Right.
And
That is
so it was out of
sarcasm. There's you did not hit a raccoon or a deer or anything, and there's absolutely no proof that you were driving the car to begin with.
I never admitted to driving.
Absolutely.
I never admitted to driving at all.
Okay, so
admitted to driving at all.
Absolutely. And that was the pretext.
Insisting that I was driving.
Right. He kept insisting that you were driving. So they had all this planned out, or this is what they do to everybody, or a combination of the two. They had this planned out. They stated you admitted this, but there's no evidence that you admitted it, and there's every evidence to the contrary of you admitting it. Even when they try to beat you down and wear you down over and over again, you never state that you were driving that car. And again, that is a less serious crime than the crime that this Megan Trexler lady is saying that friends of the individual who is a drug dealer who seemingly did something like drug you and was actually possibly the driver of the car and likely the driver of the car. He disappeared, possibly made a call inside the store, and it seems like all these guys are in on it together. But I want to get to the next part of Megan Trexler, and what she's saying is that these guys are either going to corroborate the fact that they assaulted you, or they're going to lie. So it's like, hey, they're either going to lie or they're going to corroborate. Okay, let's listen here, if we can. And again, you can find this audio and video on Jessica Lee Collins' Twitter account. There you see how you get to it. There you go. So I'm just going to play it, and we're hoping for the best with this audio.
As well, since they're witnesses, can either, it's either going to corroborate everything, or they're going to lie, or whatever. But that way, I have a better timeline of
they're going to corroborate everything about the fact that they assaulted you, or they're going to lie. Okay. So at this point, the Commonwealth's attorney and everyone else, the clerk of the court, they're lying. They're only they're only covering up the truth. So this is where this drug dealer, this is the Food Lion right there. This is the drug dealer. And hey man, I don't have any problem. It's with drug dealers, except for I know what drug dealers are. They're government agents who work for the police. That's what they're doing. And especially
I wanted to say that I didn't realize he was selling drugs outside the store. It never crossed my mind. I never realized what he was doing out there. I just noticed over the month of December and January that he was there every time I went there. I started to get into a routine of that shopping center every week because it was closer to my home, and it was easier to go there than to drive another 20 minutes away. So it became a routine, and that's when I saw him each time I would go there. And that's how I became familiar with him. But it never occurred to me that he was, out there selling, that he could be selling serious drugs. But that's what I suspect now, knowing that, what I went through and listening to the audio, knowing how I felt, from one instant that I remember, where I did feel like I was on drugs. It wasn't just anything that I had to drink at all.
So everyone knows that this guy, everyone knows this guy's dealing drugs, and now we have that. This is a still image from a video clip that I'm going to try to locate here on your Twitter feed. And of course, my computer is doing the weird stuff again. But
Well, I'm saying I didn't know he was selling drugs. He told me that he sold drugs to and marijuana is what he told me, not anything other than that. That's all I knew about.
yeah, that's what all these
Anything that
scumbags do.
I didn't think was a big deal.
Yeah.
Anything to do with any other type of drug.
Well,
But it just never crossed my mind that that was going on at that store. Like,
right.
so the video footage of what happened inside the food line is absent. It's just non-existent, and that would clearly show what occurred.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So this is one of the
missing, and the police say that they thought I was on drugs right away from the first interaction. I tell them within hours, I feel like I was drugged. They tell me they're going to test for the drugs, and then they don't test for the drugs. They basically confiscate the second vial and keep it in jail, deny me bail for that 5-day period where I might have been able to have an actual independent test done.
right. So
My own blood.
so these are all tactics where they're guaranteeing themselves to be able to cover their own asses. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially watching this video, I can see the officer keeps coaxing me to say that I was driving, and I don't admit that I was driving ever. And I actually, honestly, have no clue who was driving. I do know there were 2 people in the vehicle. One of the officers says there were 2 of them. We have 1 of them in custody.
That's a key point too. So they said 2 individuals, and then they all of a sudden decide that it's just going to be you. That it's just going to be you to take the rap for what you're a victim of, which is the assault, and that they're just going to take these individuals words for it. Jess, I just thought of an idea.
And it very much appears that the officer on the scene was in on it, or he's just used to doing this to people, pinning them with a crime that they haven't committed when it's pretty obvious that person hasn't committed the crime, and they keep denying that they have committed it.
Yeah. Okay, Jess. Hey, can you retweet or put at the top of your page that thing with Coy, because I keep scrolling down and I'm missing it. It's taken so long to get to it. I want to get to that so folks can see what we're talking about. That basically this guy is blatantly selling drugs in front of the food line for everyone to see. Families, children, the cops, everyone. So we're gonna get that.
Yeah, I think most people are like me, though. I mean, most people in the public wouldn't think about it as deeply, because it didn't occur to me that that's what was going on.
Yeah, well,
I was drugged.
Yep. All right. Well. All right. Hey, Cliff.
I'm gonna retweet that.
Cliff, can you respond to Reddit the troublemaker on her account? Because I don't want to keep repeating. If the audio is not good, you can follow that link.
Reddit Daniels?
Yeah. Just hey,
you want me to respond to people on their actual Facebook account?
No. Respond to her in replying to her saying we cannot hear. Because I think it was about 10 or 15 minutes ago.
Okay, so Chris, let me get this out. I'm sending the Blog Talk link on another social media platform. I can put the link in there again. I already told these demons they have no excuse. I don't want to waste time on these demons. Let's continue.
Right. Okay. I'm just saying. So like Retta, she's such a troublemaker when she was saying that I was lying about.
Daniel, get her, block her. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So Jess, did you reshare that? So it's at the top of your Twitter feed?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to refresh the page. And hopefully that doesn't freeze up the computer. Okay. Yeah. I, yeah. So again,
It should be at the top now.
okay, it's refreshing, so you can see what I'm doing.
It gives me a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, as you can see.
The type of interference that you guys experience, I experience it every single day.
Oh, I know.
I had my computer hacked as soon as in September. That's why I haven't been able to put out the actual story of what happened to me and my daughter in relation to Jeffrey Epstein and their whole sex trafficking ring, and now this.
Okay.
So, since September, I haven't been able to share the real story.
Absolutely.
This is just more of that same interference.
Okay, so we're watching. We're watching this video now, Jess. We're watching this video, and we can break this down. It's been seen by 2.3 thousand people, and out of all these individuals that watch this, everybody knows what a drug deal looks like. Everybody knows what it looks like, and you can watch it one more time, and you can watch it as many times as you want. It's up on Twitter. It's been seen by over 2,000 people. So that guy's pissed because he's like, oh shit, I just got caught on camera dealing, in a drug deal. And that Coy shrugs his shoulders like, I don't know. Whatever, man. I work for the cops. I'm doing this right in front of everybody's face.
And the girl who walks by in the green coat that looks over at the drug deal and then stops and turns around to go back, he appears to be the person who has accused me of assaulting her.
Right. Another key point. Another key point, Jess. So again, this is right. So any one of these things is enough for everything in a legitimate trial to stop it, and for everyone to say, well, hey, wait a second. This isn't right. This isn't right. I'm back on now. This seems to be really screwed up in every sort of way. So now adding to that is they have been holding back the exculpatory evidence, which seems to be the same thing as what they claim is the evidence that they're going to use against you, Jessica, where it's not you who's saying you were driving. It's these individuals who are telling you were, that you were driving, even though you're saying no. Or, what are you talking about? Well, what? The wreck. What wreck? You're on drugs. Okay, so getting back to this drug testing thing with the police. So, if the police being the police, and they want to stick it to everyone. Now, they especially want to stick it to you, but they want to stick it to everyone. They're saying you're on drugs. You're on drugs. You're on drugs. They keep saying that to you. You're on drugs. So now let's revisit the fact that these degenerate pieces of filth called government agents, they are trained to be able to tell the difference between somebody on meth, cocaine, heroin, alcohol, etc. And they're saying, you're definitely on drugs. You're definitely on drugs. But then, what would be the next step for them? Because they want to get you. Okay, prove it. Run a drug test. Run a drug test on her. So why did they drag their feet? Why did they lie? Why did they take 2 samples? Why did they take 2 samples? Why didn't they just do the most straightforward drug test immediately? Because they're accusing you of that. So they see it.
I actually asked them to drug test me. I asked them to drug test me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Multiple times, all the way through. I had to make sure they were following up on the drug test and an investigation into the drug dealer. And
I will tell you, there's just real quick. I want to get this out. Yeah. let me get this out because then I want you to follow up with what you're getting ready to say. They have countless ways to falsify drug tests, and they do it all the time. They do it all the time. They have countless ways. And one of the ways that they often do it is getting two samples and doing the old switcheroo shell game with it. So you're saying they're saying you're on drugs? Good. Test it. You asked for them to test it. You demanded that they test it. And they didn't do it properly. Go ahead, Jess. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I asked. I asked them over and over and over, and I have everything recorded. And that's another problem is that, I will be distant from my evidence of all of this if on April 20th I go in front of the judge and he says guilty when it's blatantly obvious I'm not guilty at all.
Well, let's
they're orchestrating.
That's a worst case scenario. But at this point, if they're stating that, and they are, and it's been seen by almost 2,000 individuals, that a member of the sheriff's department that is investigating this case states that you were assaulted, and in fact that you did not assault anyone, why didn't those assault charges immediately disappear? Why wasn't there a new investigation into the assault against you? Why is the investigator bringing up the fact that of what you already knew, what you investigated, and probably everyone in the sheriff's department and state police and Commonwealth attorney's office already knew, in that these individuals who assaulted you, using Megan Trexler's words, the investigator, they assaulted you, and they're friends with the individual who all evidence is pointing to drugged you. So we'll talk about getting in front of the judge at a later date, but if this goes in front of a judge, then that's the most blatant liar judge of all time. That's the most crooked garbage judge of all time if they allow this stuff with all the mitigating circumstances, all the fact that everything that you're accused of, there is exhibit upon exhibit that shows the exact opposite happened. Not that, hey, they say, Jessica Collins assaulted 3 people. Wait a second. Here's what really happened according to Megan Trexler. 3 people assaulted Jessica Collins. She said that in clear English. Unambiguous. Clear. And they'll either corroborate that or they'll lie. Why would she say that they would lie? She knows she's being recorded. That's a pretty strong statement. Or they'll lie. My guess, the only guess I can think that makes any sort of sense is she saw video. She knows that they assaulted you, and she knows they might lie about it because they lied about it in the first place. And that every single thing about why you were arrested for the alleged DUI when you were nowhere near a car, that there's no evidence that you were driving, and that there's a strong possibility that someone else was driving, that they keep repeating over and over again. You did this. You did that. And you didn't even say you did that. However, in their reports, which justified the arrest, they said that they knew you were guilty because you admitted to it, that you told them you were driving, and their video evidence that is allegedly, according to the rules, what is to be used against you, the evidence that they have against you, 100% contradicts that, and that the audio and video from the police, from the state of, from the Commonwealth of Virginia, from Accomack County, it shows that they're berating you to attempt to get you to admit to something that you never actually admit to, which that's cool, except for the fact that they said all of their probable cause comes from you admitting that. And if that's the case,
excuse me, y'all. Can I ask a question?
certainly.
Just to, as far as people involved in Jessica's trafficking, we know Joe Biden is involved. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm about to send the link to his Instagram account, and then I will screenshot it and share it on Facebook. I doubt you will see it, but they know what's going on. But just to say, I'm putting in as much effort as I can disseminating this information. Continue.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows me. He remembers that.
And his son too, Hunter Biden, and his son.
Hunter, yeah, Hunter knows me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter knows me as well. I have audio of him in my apartment.
Yep. Yep. Right on.
Yep, I do. And
Yeah.
that's the reason I started to say that over the internet, and then this happened.
Right.
And the police, when they arrested me and put me in their vehicle, they actually tied my legs to their door. I can't tell if they tied my hands, but it sounds like it from what I can hear me say. It sounds like they tied my hands to one side of their car in the back seat and my feet to the other side of the car.
That's sick. They are sick.
Water and yeah.
So with all of this, right. And this is why I say that all these guys working for the government are criminal, because if I worked for any of these organizations and it came out that that every accusation and charge they made against the individual is actually the opposite. I mean, Megan Trexler, it was good that she did that. It was good that she put it out there. But she's got to do more than that, because what she's doing now is just, I think, under order, because they're all order followers. They all follow the order of the individual with the, most powerful symbol, patched on their arm. Basically she was like, real talkative up until the point where she exposed the whole operation with her badge visible, with her badge right out for all to see.
Yeah, she's covering for them. I don't know if she's covering for them on purpose, but she made excuses for them taking the second vial of blood. She turned over the interview that where she stated I was assaulted right over to the DA the same day.
Yeah, the Commonwealth's attorney. With these guys and how they're dirty tricksters, maybe she turned it over to her boss and her boss turned it over to Spencer, which was a stupid mistake, because they said they were using that evidence against you, and it's all exonerating evidence. It's beyond exonerating, because the charges are false. There is no proof that you did any crime. No proof.
No, the police are the ones who accused me of crime and said I committed crime.
Right.
The same police station, they've known since October of 2018 that I am a victim of a DC madam. They've known that because I reported it to them in October of 2018. And then I went back in September of 2019 to report a death threat by one of the DC madam's associates. So these police officers in this entire county sheriff's office is aware and has been aware of my situation before this happened.
Yeah.
Where they're pinning me with a crime that I didn't commit and trying to charge me with a felony assault on law enforcement officers when there's no evidence of that either.
There's no evidence of that. And hold on. I want to be clear about that, because those charges are just threats. They have not actually been brought against you. Correct?
They haven't been brought against me yet, but correct, they haven't been brought against me yet, but that's what I suspect they'll do once they find me guilty of these crimes. that they've charged fraudulently and knowingly fraudulently. I'm assuming that that's what their plan is. That's what it looks like they're planning to do.
That you know, if they can get away with it, you know, they will do anything that they can get away with. That, you see, that's what kind of individuals these are. These are dishonorable, dishonest individuals who are bullies. Instead of protecting the weak, they target the weak and protect the strong. So yeah, it's disgusting what they do. Let's get to some more of the evidence. What more audio and video, or just audio, would you like to put out there right now for the people that you think is
I was trying to cut it down because it's an hour long of the actual arrest.
right?
The officer, starting off saying, why did you, or I can play it for you so you can hear exactly what he says, but it might be about 4 or 5 minutes long. I'm not sure if that's too long to share, but I cut down as much as I can that wasn't, relevant or crucial.
Okay.
To try and be able to get the most important parts out. Do you want me to play that?
Let's go ahead and play this because we're getting this on record right now. We're gonna do another maybe shorter video where we get more concise with everything. But in the flow of the show, I wish for these audio clips to be heard, and let's set it up a little bit more again for everyone, because everything's got to be repeated over and over for everyone in case they every aspect of it. This is the cops attempting to frame Jessica, and this is what they say is Jessica admitting to driving, and it's just verifying that that's 100% a lie. And she has been, I believe, all evidence is pointing to the fact that she was drugged by a drug dealer. We've already established that those are all facts as far as that he's a drug dealer, but all signs point to the fact that she was drugged, and that this officer keeps saying she was drugged, or you're on, not she was drugged, excuse me. Let me repeat myself again and correct myself. That she was on drugs, that you were on drugs. And so this gets into what, if she keeps saying that she's on drugs, why do they keep playing the old switcheroo and the shell game and hiding and obfuscating? If they're so sure she's on drugs and she was drugged, then why didn't they immediately test? Why did they have to be told to test? What they would automatically do that. If they believe somebody's on drugs, they're going to test them, especially when the individual is asking to be tested for drugs. All right. Yeah, go ahead. And basically, again, this is the individual attempting to, the state police and Accomack County Sheriff's Department attempting to put words in Jessica Collin's mouth to frame her, and that being completely false, and then failing. Yeah, go ahead, Jess. And listen up for me to say, like, maybe a strategic point to stop. Like it. Okay.
Yeah, at the end, the place where I stopped, trying to put it together concisely is where I'm screaming about my constitutional rights being violated. So I'm going to go ahead and start it now. It's Virginia State Police Officer Cody Corbin is the one who's trying to put words into my mouth.
Interesting.
Okay, so very I did say that. So, what happened at the crash? What crash? When your vehicle's over there in the field. That's a crash? It's not a crash. It's just like, you know what the definition of a crash is? Hey, can you tell me what the definition of a crash is? Hey! Somebody tell me official what the definition of a criminal action is. It's not what they're doing. Please help. Please help me. Please help. Please help.
Jessica, can you stop the recording real quick?
Yeah, sorry. It's so
Okay.
bad.
Okay. I wish to hear the part where he starts saying that you're on drugs. Is that in this clip?
Yeah, he just said that.
Okay, can we play that over again?
Sure. Hold on. Oh, staticky sounding.
Right. Okay. And we'll get.
Hold on 1 second. I'll find
Yeah. We shall get the transcript too.
Yeah, I'm having to transcribe it myself, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm also making a video so I can put it out on the internet.
Yeah.
And people can actually see it for themselves. Okay. Well, where I'm saying, oh, you're getting so rough or something like that, that's where he's assaulting me.
He's assaulting you.
Trying to
Yeah. Somebody pointed out a couple
I'm
things
trying to not make it worse.
about this CC Corbin guy. Yeah, we know the 33 symbolism there, but I can tell you, yeah, these guys are demons, and we recognize that they don't have the authority that we do. That they serve a lesser god, Satan. Yeah, go ahead, Jess. I just want to hear him stating that you're on drugs.
Okay.
Right.
So what I'm going to say is, you're so aggressive, because that's where he was actually, being assaultive and harming me. And then I laugh about it, to play it off so it doesn't get worse. And that's when he says that I'm on drugs. So I hope you can hear it, but this is the best I can do.
Okay.
Did you hear him?
I did hear him say that, but didn't he question? Right. Are you on drugs? I heard that part. Didn't he question you? Didn't he say you were on drugs? Didn't he make an affirmative statement about you being on drugs? And didn't he mention drugs? Okay. That's what I want to hear.
Right there, he did mention drugs. He said to the other officer, she's on drugs. And then later, he says the same thing again, but it's later on.
So 3 times. 3 times he says you're on drugs.
He said she's on something.
She's on something. I heard it.
And I say, no, I'm not.
She's on something. I heard it. The other folks, go to Blog Talk Radio, play it back over and over again if you doubt it. If you doubt it. But I've listened to this before just once, and I knew that there were at least 3 instances in this recording where this individual states, she's on drugs. You're on drugs. Are you on drugs? So, again, if these individuals are trained to recognize that, if they're convinced, so convinced that they're stating on a recording, drugs are involved, then why are they not testing for the drugs properly? We all know that, I mean, if you guys think that there are any honest individuals in government or any honest police officers, you're crazy. You are out of your freaking mind. Um, and I mean, we're doing this as well as we can, but it's basically like, okay, well, hey, this is what's going on with these guys, and it turns out, well, only God could give us this evidence. Only God could have us be able to figure this out when the devil's trying everything that they can do to fool us. Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. This
so
is.
Here's the second part, and it's only it's only a minute after the first time he says she's on something. No drugs. Why did you drive into the ditch over there? So he says, why did you drive into the ditch over there? Even though I have never said that I was driving, I never said that I was, behind the wheel or that I drove into the ditch.
That's right.
And then the second officer says, we've got one in custody.
We've got one in custody, meaning that there were two.
Correct.
No admission of driving. Even when they attempt to put words in your mouth. Even when they attempt to put words in your mouth, they can't do it, but yet they lied about it in the report. What did they say in the report? Was there reasoning for saying that you did this? I.e., assaulted people and then were driving and under the influence at the same time, knowingly. What was their reasoning for saying that they had any clue, inclination, thought, pretext, any sort of thing to do with that? What did they say? Was their reasoning?
They've never said.
But no. Hold on, Jess. Didn't they write down they knew you were driving under the influence because you told them that you were driving?
Well, I can read exactly what the officer
Yeah, let's
wrote.
do that. Let's do that.
He says he located the driver in the Food Lion.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having to flip through papers to find it.
Okay, let's break that part down. Hold on. Whoa. Take it just a second, Jess, because we're going to take this, if we have to, one word at a time. Okay, he located the driver. That's not established. He doesn't know that. He has no idea who the driver is. Go ahead.
No, he decided who the driver was.
He's lying. Go ahead with his lie.
On 1/24/2020, I was dispatched to a motor vehicle crash that occurred in the Food Lion parking lot in Accomack County. I arrived on scene and observed an unoccupied vehicle in a ditch. I later located the driver at Food Lion. She ID'd herself to be Jessica Collin. A deputy notified me she had assaulted someone in the store. She stated she was going around 20 miles per hour and the crash occurred around 8 o'clock. She said she stated she did not have anything to drink after the crash, noticed a strong odor of alcohol beverage coming from her breath. But he contradicts all that stuff. If people listen to the actual audio of it, he has coaxed out these things through aggravation. Like when I said that I hit even though I definitely didn't.
There's no dead
I
deer.
was saying I
There's
don't
no
know
injured
what's
deer.
going on,
Right.
and
Right. No injured deer, no raccoon. Yeah. Okay. Jess.
no
Okay.
injured deer, no raccoon. And so I can play for you where he's getting this 25 miles an hour from.
Well, he said 20 miles an hour and you said 25. But
20.
okay.
Right, because at first I said 25, and then later I said 20. But none of it was, reality. It was just getting him to leave me alone.
Right.
Do you want me to play it?
I want to get to the point where he says that you admit that you were driving.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, he does it. That's what I'm sorry. That's what I've been told by other people.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. So the attorneys.
Yeah,
So he's telling the attorneys. Do you have? I mean, I'm not. I don't want to play that right now. But do you have evidence that he said that to the attorneys or no?
not of that officer.
No,
No.
no. I mean, what I mean is, do you have? Hold on, Jess. Hold on. Do you have audio of anybody telling you that that's what he said?
Well, since you're getting so specific about it, I'd have to play it.
No, no, no. I'm not asking you to play it. I'm just saying.
Like verbatim.
No, I'm just saying.
But yes, I have everything recorded.
Okay. That's all. So this is yeah.
All these conversations recorded.
Okay. Good. That's good. I was just for my own curiosity with this case. That's what I wish to know. So he, according to officials, this Corbin guy told an attorney that told you that the reason behind the arrest was Jessica admitted she was driving, which never took place.
Well, the attorney told me that the police said I admitted I was driving.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, apologies if I was not being clear. That's what I'm saying. That was the because nothing they're saying drugs but it doesn't mention anything about this woman. I repeated to this woman over and over again she was on drugs and she was clearly on drugs. That's not in the report. So they had to switch around. He didn't seem to be interested in drinking or mention a strong alcohol odor in the recording.
Actually, he says the opposite. He says I smell like a light or a faint smell of alcohol. He says it twice at the end of the recording that he smelled a faint smell of alcohol.
Okay.
He says it was like not strong in the recording.
Faint, but my point is that he was focused on drugs.
At the scene, he was.
Yeah. At the scene, and that later when he wrote his report, he focuses on alcohol. So again, correct. There's no proof of anything that no proof at all. Excuse me, no proof at all that you had been driving. None. Except for like, okay, let's wrap her up in this. We don't know what happened, but we're just going to say this is what happened. He's focused very clearly on drugs, mentions it 3 to 5 times, at least 3 times, and maybe a couple times more in the recording. Mentions a faint smell of alcohol once. So that's 3 to 1. So if I think 3 to 1 odds of one thing, I'm not gonna go away, go away from that. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, nothing. Yeah, it smelled a little bit of alcohol, but he's like, bam, you're on crazy drugs. You're on drugs. You're on drugs. You're on drugs, and then no mention of drugs in the report. So complete contradiction of what he's saying on the scene at the time. Not to mention the fact that he has absolutely no idea that you drove anything anywhere at all. At all. And so, if alcohol were the crime, then the only possibility of any sort of legitimate charge, and taking into everything into account, it shouldn't have been any charge. He can't prove that you were driving. So if he was so sure about the alcohol, and that's the thing that was the main crux of the matter, the only thing he could charge you with is drunk in public. That's it. He says you're away from the vehicle. Yeah, go ahead. I know you weren't drunk in public. I know you were drugged. I mean, right. I'm just playing devil's advocate and meaning that term literally. I'm playing devil's advocate, literally the devil, the demon devil, the adversary of God, the adversary of the natural law, a shameless, dishonorable liar who is a disgrace and a discredit to every one of his ancestors and countrymen. What a bunch of disgusting, low-level bullies. So in any event, yeah, if alcohol was what he was really focused on, it's completely contradicted by the audio clips that we just heard, and in his written statement away from the car. So he has absolutely no proof who was driving when he's writing this. So what? Where is the proof of any of this stuff? Go ahead.
I have this. Like, do you want to hear the first time? Do you want to hear the first time where he says, Why did you drive into the ditch?"
Yes.
Where he's accusing me of driving.
Yes.
Okay. It's sort of got that static sound in the back. I apologize, but I can't.
Okay.
Do anything about
Everybody
it.
knows what with the audio.
So he says, "How fast were you going when you drove into the ditch?" That was the first time he asserted and accused me of driving.
Mm-hmm.
How fast were you going? 25 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour and top. Anything else? It's possible a deer or a raccoon. Possible. Hey, I accidentally may have hit a deer or raccoon. I don't know. I was very. Hey, look, I was extremely. I love you. Well, I can tell. Yeah, you and me, we have like same personality. I was trying to meet anybody. Well, I was like everybody. Something funny. So.
Okay. Can we go over that audio? Because I can't even make it out.
Sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's the best we got. Don't apologize.
We'll be able to hear it better.
Yeah. Don't apologize.
Yeah.
It's the best we got. Okay.
Yeah, but I did really flip out enough so that I could just show what was important, But it's because I wasn't thinking about this show. I was thinking about putting this on the internet because I can't put up an entire hour.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good, Jess. It's working. It's working. It's serving its purpose. I just wish to know what was actually said. I mean, we played the clip. Folks can verify it now and later when it's when you put it out on the internet.
Right.
But what we're attempting to do right now is to get what was said. Okay, what was said in that? And I heard the 25 miles per hour.
That was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time he said something like, "Why did you drive into the ditch?" Or, no, he said, "I'm sorry." He said, "How fast were you going when you drove into the ditch?" And that's when I responded with just a sarcastic, agreement. But I'm not agreeing that I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I honestly don't know. It's repeated that I don't know what's going on.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Yeah. So he
Yeah,
keeps
throughout
asserting
their hours
this.
long.
But then, okay. So what made him assert after he was asking, like, who was driving? Like, were you driving? There's, a possibility of two people that were involved. This just is mind numbing because it doesn't make any sort of sense that they're going so hard after you, especially considering all that's going around with the news headline saying because of the coronavirus we are not bringing charges for DUIs. Because of the coronavirus, we're going to do our best to limit any sort of court hearings. We're doing our best to release nonviolent offenders or those who are rehabilitated to the point where we're going to release them back into public out of jail. So it seems so obvious that this is directly targeting you, and that
It is.
yeah, and that they are lying
And
about
that,
what happened, and
yeah,
and it's
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but I'm
yeah.
gonna have to head out in 10 minutes.
Okay.
But continue.
So
okay,
Cliff,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any questions? I mean, you're usually pretty concise about
I've been sharing the show, Chris, and seeing the respectless response, and seeing people respond with, "Oh, Cliff, you should watch this video," and I'm wondering, like, are you a government agent? Are you trying to distract me? So really, I'm a little cynical here. I'm sorry if I'm bringing down the vibe, but
what
Jessica, I wish you all the best. I tried my best trying to disseminate this information, but I think the
Thank
populace
you.
is just respectless to do a darn thing about it.
Well, I mean, I don't have any faith in the general public. I mean, I do have faith in certain individuals. So that's all we can really count on ourselves and maybe certain other individuals who share our same mentality of getting to the bottom of things and punishing real criminals and stopping real crime like human trafficking, uh, extortion, kidnapping, etc. And it seems like that the government is behind all of that. They are at the tippy top of all that. And when I say government, I don't mean to, the criminal organized crime syndicate masquerading as the quote unquote government. Um, yeah. So yeah. Hey, thanks to everybody for your good comments. Thanks, Ron. David's watching. Thanks, David. David Dotrieve. Thanks to David. Thanks for all you do for the show. Thanks, Clifford. Who else? Who else? Clifford is always very helpful about. I mean, helpful. Always getting the proper propaganda out there, the right information, the truth. That's what we're here to do. What the truth is, and what are the lies? What's the truth? What are the lies? Who's telling the truth? Who's telling the lies? That's what we're here to decide. That's what we're here to find out. That's what we're here to investigate. Jess.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What else? What else is important out of this?
Well, I guess it's easier to watch it all together so people can see how it went down exactly, because I think that shows the truth in its entirety, rather than just going through it clip by clip. You can see how it occurred. So I will do my best to get that up. Um, I guess on my YouTube channel is probably the best place to put it there.
Yeah, Twitter and YouTube, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah. So I'll do that. It'll take me an entire day, like 13 hours to get it up. But that's what I have to go through to get this accomplished. So that the truth is known.
Yeah, absolutely.
See it for themselves.
You can see it for yourself. I mean, you've heard it, and actually, some of the stuff they've seen for themselves. They see it, and if folks are just, I mean, uh, just hearing this information now on Facebook, it's been a lot of this stuff's been up for a couple weeks on Twitter. Um, so yeah, I mean this stuff is out there. It's irrefutable. So I mean, it seems like you know Jessica. There are a lot of supporters out there. You have a lot of support out there in America and around the world. You have a lot of support, but as far as things go, you are one in a lot of ways. You are one individual who is up against an entire, two entire police forces, the Accomack County Sheriff's Department and the two criminal apparatus, the Accomack County Sheriff's Department and the Virginia State Police, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office and all the attorneys working for them, the clerk of the court and the entire court system and all these judges, and even knowing that, even without being a lawyer or anything else, you have shown this case against you as nothing but a 100% fraud, a lie. What they're asserting, what they, the criminal government, is asserting, what they, the treasonous torturers in the government, are asserting, is the exact opposite of the truth. And I will say that what I've witnessed about this case is torture. These individuals are on American soil torturing Americans. What's this with them tying your legs up and your arms up? What's this with, you asking for a cigarette, this guy assaulting you, and then this grown man saying, oh, I was assaulted by what he viewed as a drugged woman, petite, small woman in her 40s who has just been assaulted. What kind of low-down coward is that?
Yeah, and they're not
a pure demon.
Yeah.
They keep at it and keep coming at me with all kinds of stuff in the court system now, with fraud and hanging up on me, all kinds of stuff I'm having to deal with. It is actual torture.
I'm talking about that the whole thing is actual torture, but I'm talking specifically about them tying your arms and legs up.
Yeah, he talked about getting rope for that, and then I start screaming and yelling about my legs being tied up, and please let me go, please let my feet go.
Man,
so that will be. I'll put the entire video up so people can see it for what it is.
Yep.
And how the charges have been brought against me, and how it's exactly related to what I know about Jeffrey Epstein and Joe Biden, and Donald Trump and Melania Trump.
Right, Donald Trump and Melania Trump. So all those Trump supporters that go like, "Oh yeah, it's all Joe Biden. Oh yeah, definitely the Democrats. It's the Democrats." No, it's all of them. It's bipartisan. Yeah.
It's all of them. It is all of them. I had to find it out firsthand.
Yeah. Hey, you're right, Ron. Yeah. You're right, Ron. Ron referenced something that happened last week, and I had to think about what happened last week with the disgusting phone calls to the show, and I was thinking, I was like, man, who would do that? I was like, and what woman would do that? And then I thought, oh, Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, and then I started thinking about the disgusting documentary movie called The Aristocrats. Go ahead, Cliff. Come again.
I'm just saying the synagogue of Satan.
Right, Mossad.
But I'm about to head out, guys. Peace, much love. Keep searching for truth. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you, Chris. You're doing God's work.
All right. Hey, thanks, Cliff. Be safe, Cliff. We'll talk to you soon. So I thought about that, like, who would go out and just say all these disgusting, foul things? And then I thought about that movie called The Aristocrats, where that's the whole entire part of the movie, where these individuals just with a straight face love to just say the most disgusting things about, every foul and disgusting thing you can think of. And I'm not talking about like potty humor, or I'm not talking about dirty jokes. I'm talking about foul filth that only some individuals with extreme psychological, emotional, and spiritual damage would say out loud, and these guys get paid for it. These comedians like Sarah Silverman get paid for it. They get paid to come up with this stuff. So that's what these Mossad agents are doing when they call into the program and talk about. I mean, I'm not even going to repeat anything that was said. Not even one iota or aspect. But that's
we didn't even get into that aspect about the Spencer Morgan, the Commonwealth attorney, trying to accuse me of being crazy, making these claims,
right?
Fraudulently with their actual facts.
Right.
Trying to get me seen by a psychiatrist to discredit what I'm saying.
Right.
Court, on the record.
Right. Okay, so they failed at that,
That's
and
one of the things they've done.
Right, and they did, and I'll tell you, I'm familiar with this case, and we can detail this if you think it's important. But I'm just going to basically tell the people who are listening what happened. And you had written a was it a motion or was it a memorandum? The 13-page document that you sent. It was a motion.
It was a motion to dismiss.
A motion to dismiss. So a motion to dismiss, and it basically, you did your best to cover everything about this case and everything about what led up to this. You, being a trafficking victim, you and everything that you could think of. And what he basically says is, he says, yeah, it's long and rambling. Taken as a whole, it's this, and there's very little to substantiate the information. So, and then he says, we think that she's paranoid and delusional. So basically, and hallucinating. So basically, the only thing that he has a leg to stand on is he does not like your writing style. And he does not say it is false. He's still lying, but he says very little to substantiate. So he says, oh, it's substantiated, but it's very little. Oh, so she's crazy. We need to get her a psychological evaluation. Why? Because he knows what evidence he has. He knows he has no evidence. And also that he can discredit you, when all of this stuff comes out, that you didn't do nothing, as they said. I know how to properly speak English, but you didn't do fucking nothing. You didn't do a thing. Except for hang out with sketchy people.
The motion to dismiss was based on the fact that I was drugged and that this guy lured me to his house to talk to him about tattoo work, to memorialize my daughter.
Right.
I wasn't going there for anything other than that. And I sipped a beer that was open on his coffee table, and that's the last thing I remember until the police had me in custody at the hospital and were taking my blood.
Exactly. And specifically for everybody to know, calling what he was drinking a beer to a beer drinker or a beer connoisseur, that's a loose term. It was Steel Reserve. So this is a drug dealer seeming to be a drug addict, drinking rock gut, what do you call it? Wino beer. So this is all the way around a completely sketchy situation, and um, you know, I won't even preface my repetition of important aspects of this. That CC Corbin guy, he keeps repeating over and over again, "You're on drugs." She's on something. She's on drugs.
90 seconds.
There's a faint smell of alcohol. And then all that drug stuff is gone when they find out, no, we don't want to find out what drugs she was drugged with. Yeah. I mean, is there anybody out there in Accomack County? I know you're all watching. I know you're all listening, Accomack County government officials. Is there anybody who has any honor, decency out there to just, you got to put a stop to this. That's it. You got to put a stop to this. How can you sit back and watch this? Jessica does not seem to be guilty of. Go ahead, Jess.
I'm saying, I'm already dealing with the death of my daughter.
Right.
I haven't even gotten to mourn her properly because I've been investigating why the police didn't do their job, why they lied about what happened to her. And then I had to find out, I had to see Jeff Sessions talking about her without them even telling me. So I've never since then been able to even just have any peace at all. And now I'm having to deal with this on top of it all. They're pushing me to the limit on purpose.
Right. And of course,
I've done nothing wrong.
Of course.
I've tried to share the truth to protect other people from having to go through this so people can see how this happened.
And let me get this out.
And how it's covered up.
Okay. And your daughter's death was an assassination, and it was the front to liquidate the largest dark web human and drug trafficking operation on the internet at that time, worth billions of dollars. Alphabet.
Yep. Exactly.
So it was a government assassination in order to liquidate the largest online trafficking operation, human and drug trafficking operation known as Alphabet, that was created by the government, rolled up by the government. They assassinated your daughter and used that as a pretext to liquidate it and start another operation from the ashes of Alphabet. That's my take on the matter.
Yeah, and I believe she was trafficked to Epstein as a juvenile as well when she lived in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
She was 12 years old down there.
And there were trafficking. There were certainly trafficking operations inside the Baltimore facility run by Catholic Charities and Mr. Fish, Mr. Fish and Mr. Fishman and his son, correct? Fishman and his son.
Yeah, and supported by Larry Hogan, the governor of Maryland.
Right.
Yeah, where they sterilized her and she was gang raped.
Right.
Yeah,
and
had to run away from the facility.
And just to get this out there, it's not just what we know that happened because of first, second, and third hand information that this facility was closed down, and it was verified in media reports out of Baltimore, Maryland, that there were individuals who were forced to be there were raped, gang raped, assaulted, and more.
Yeah.
What was the name of that facility?
I got that information. It was called the Good Shepherd in Hawthorne, Maryland, which is Baltimore, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a part of Baltimore. But I have that recording on my devices of the Maryland Health Department director or official that I was speaking to on the matter of the Good Shepherd being shut down, that told me there was gang rapes in there that had happened to shut the facility down. That wasn't distributed by the media.
Oh, okay. My apologies then. My apologies. I'm incorrect. I thought that was reported in the media.
That was part. Yeah, that was just part of my own investigation, trying to figure out, why that article about the shutdown of the place that Aisha ran away from was publicized on the day that the day after they say she died. She actually died on February 15th, 2017, but they said she died on February 16th. Because that's the day that I found her. And so they published the article about the facility that she ran away from being shut down, and it was shut down permanently for a year, on the day that they say she died, the date of her death, on February 16th, 2017.
I say assassination. You refer to it as a murder. Yeah, I think it's an assassination. And it was certainly a murder.
I think you're more accurate by saying assassination, because that does match more the details of what happened.
Right, especially, and we've covered this on the program before, but when we say assassination, it seems like that the individual who carried it out, who was in the apartment when Aisha was murdered, was a Russian national with ties to intelligence agencies.
Well, that's what he claims, is that he was a Russian that was trained by the Army and went to a specialized school for his IQ, but he wasn't in the apartment at the time, as far as I know. He viewed it over the internet. He viewed it occurring with a case of amnesia in the hospital. So I still don't know the details, because I can't get the police to do a proper investigation.
Right.
They wouldn't fingerprint the needles. They wouldn't. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks for correcting me then. Thanks for correcting me. So he's stating that he was.
He wasn't in the apartment.
Okay, he was not in the apartment, but that he was a Russian intelligence agent. Or that's what he proclaims. That's what he claims.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
That's what he claims.
And now he claims that he has amnesia.
Well, he claims he had amnesia while he watched her die.
Oh, okay.
It was pre-planned. Yeah, it was planned. It was decided this was what was going to happen.
Right.
And that's how they were going to, culpability from themselves is by the same agencies, the medical establishment, and the police.
Right, and that Jeff Sessions and Andy McCabe and Rod Rosenstein, they all like paraded themselves about regarding this Alpha Bay bust that came about because of Aisha's death, assassination, murder, and that you had previous interactions with Jeff Sessions, who was then the Attorney General of the United States. Okay. Through the
I saw Jeff Sessions in DC
through
2003.
is this
twice.
through the DC madam?
And yeah, Asa. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was afterwards. How they do it is they pass their traffic victim from one person to the next. So they always have one handler or a handler controlling that person. But I don't believe he was directly that I was trafficked to him directly by the DC madam.
But that network, same network.
Yeah, the same network. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The same network.
Okay, cool.
It was during the time that Ed Norris had moved me into the apartment in College Park.
Ed Norris, who was a Baltimore PD and also superintendent of Maryland State Police, and he's known now. He has his own radio show in Baltimore, and is known, became famous, both for the fact that he was involved in this trafficking network. Admittedly, he was convicted in a court of law for trafficking, for human trafficking and sex trafficking. And also he's kind of rehabilitated his image through the HBO show called The Wire. And as someone whose ancestors are founders of the city of Baltimore and were among the first English and European people in Accomack County on the eastern shore of Virginia and Maryland, I can say I am disgusted by the human filth that runs our land and my property. And yeah, it's if the devil will lose, in the end. And these guys, they've picked the wrong side, but it's just because they got the devil in them. They cannot help themselves. They have no honor. They have no chivalry. They pick on a poor, defenseless woman instead of picking on a actual criminal network, etc., etc. So, yeah, these guys, I mean, saying that they suck is like, it just doesn't even come close to. They are wastes of oxygen. They are guilty of treason. They are torturers. They are feckless cowards. They are liars in every sort of way. And hey, like I said, if anybody's out there, they really, and we're wrong about this, they should set the record straight. I mean, we're not wrong. We're using their words. We're not using our words. I know what words mean. I know what, I know what the English language is. So there you go. I mean, and I guess if nothing else, then you all just know, like, the worst of the worst is not individuals like Coy. He's just an order follower. He's just a dum that is demonic and evil. He's a dummy. He's less dangerous than the cops that he works for. So,
well, I mean, they're all pretty bad as far as I'm concerned.
Well, of course they. Yeah, sorry, you're right. Ron Elston says, "Not a chance. We're wrong. Not a chance." That's why we have these documentations, because before all this stuff, before we started recording all these criminal government acts and criminal government agents, we would see it. We would know what was going on. We would tell the public, and then they would go, "Nah, you're a liar. You're a crazy liar." That's it. Okay, well, now we got the recordings. Now we got video evidence. Oh, it's not what you think, Chris. Whatever. Yep, they all have their roles. Good point. Good point, Ron.
I knows I'm innocent.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know
So,
what they're doing, why they're doing it.
okay.
And I'm sure they're profiting.
You know, we mentioned a lot of names, so I'm just showing this your pinned tweet and the images. There's Epstein, there's Alec Baldwin, there's that degenerate Synagogue of Satan member Stephen Miller. What's that guy's name again?
Yep.
Marks. What's that guy's first name?
Simon Mark.
Simon Marks, former BBC reporter. Now he has his own Washington, D.C. news network. There's the usurping fake Prince Andrew. That's Andrew Windsor right there. Who's the guy next to Stephen Miller?
Oh, you'll have to tell me. I'm not looking at it.
The guy with the red tie and the red lapel, balding, maybe a goatee, gray hair, looks like an old guy. Maybe like Arab.
I'm pulling my Twitter up. Oh, that's Sam Kuba. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sam Kuba.
9/11.
Right.
From Saudi Arabia, architect. Yeah, he raped me in front of my children.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So that's Michael Moore associate. Yep.
Actually got a hold of me before. Yeah, with Michael Moore. Yeah, he's associated with him. And there's a lot more people that I was trafficked to. I was attacked so severely, and not by the public, but by, I'd assume, these type of Mossad agents. I got a little bit intimidated, and I was afraid to share the other people that I know I was trafficked to, like Harvey Winestein and Mark Zuckerberg, because I thought people wouldn't believe me. It's just because of the attacks that I received by the people who want to turn me into a criminal or make me appear to be a criminal when I'm not.
Right.
That's all they can do is to try and make it look like I am criminal, and I'm not. I'm totally not. I think people can tell.
Yeah. Just you're not a criminal. Yeah, you're not dangerous. You're not a violent person. You're not going to cause the kind of harm that these individuals have caused to you. So
No,
yeah.
but they're letting all those kind of people out. They're letting them off, with no repercussions for any crime. And then me, who hasn't actually committed a crime, who's being set up, is being rushed into jail when I'm doing everything with every waking moment I have to send them off by studying the law, by filing papers, and they just keep committing more crime against me.
Right. Okay. And so like, maybe we'll do a call to action and ask folks to call up the Accomack County clerk of the court, the Accomack County Sheriff's Department, the Virginia State Police barracks in Accomack County, Virginia, and start really asking them questions and record it while you're asking them. Just say, hey, this call is being recorded. It's legal to do in Virginia. You can record it and you don't even have to tell them in Virginia. So, even if you're calling from a state where you do have to tell somebody, if you're calling in Virginia, you don't have to tell them jack. Record them and ask them, what the hell is going on? What the hell's going on here? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you persons? All right, Jess. We're getting near to the end of the show. Anything else? Anything else you'd like to say before we close out? And you always know that you have an open invitation, and we're going to be working on other stuff outside of our normal weekly Militia Intelligence Report broadcast. Anything else?
Yeah, no, thank you. I really, really appreciate you giving me a place to talk about this. It's really important that it is talked about and people do know what's going on. And so I think that what you said about people calling these departments is all that can be done. And I would appreciate appreciate it if people did. That's all that can be done is people look into it for themselves and try to help hold them accountable, because if they don't know that people are paying attention, they're going to feel that they can get away with this.
Well, they're watching right
So
now.
that's all I can ask is that
Yeah.
people try to help.
Yeah, they're watching now. They're watching now. They know that thousands of people have seen them obviously lying in a dishonorable way on Twitter and on YouTube. And yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Hey, Jessica Lee Collins on Twitter. Jessica Lee Collins on Twitter. What's your website, Jess?
Yeah. It's JessicaLeeCollins.com, but they keep interfering with it. I've had everything switched around on there and photos deleted, so I'm not really sure. I'm going to try and keep get that in place.
Okay.
So all the evidence can be seen in one place. For now, most of it's on Twitter.
Okay, yeah.
Twitter's
important, and also YouTube. What's your YouTube?
Well, it's Jessica Lee Collins, Leigh Collins, Collins.
At youtube.com. All right, Jess.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right on. Sorry.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, Jess. Well, thank you very much. And actually, I apologize. I was supposed to go do a shout out to my next door neighbors who are cooking out in their backyard during the show. So my apologies to Eddie and the crew. But anyway, we'll try to do something like that next week. So yeah, I believe we'll close out on that. The coronavirus stuff we've already covered. What you're seeing in the stock markets, short covering, nothing else. It's gonna get worse as far as things go, as far as the lockdown goes. Over the next 3 weeks, I think is gonna be the worst. So we had to cover this important event. Nobody else is covering it, and it fits in with the coronavirus story as well. It's all the same. All government war against the people. The government's abolished because it has contradicted in every way its only reason for existence. The government is criminal. All government officials, all millionaires and billionaires, all lawyers and judges are all guilty of treason. And yeah, the American people, you need to step up because you're pathetic. All right, this is Chris Dorsey reminding Americans and our cousins in the UK and Ireland and Germany and France and Spain, in Norway, in Russia, in the Ukraine, stop being so pathetic. Stop being slaves to the synagogue of Satan. Peace and God bless.